Hey, it's good to be with you tonight. I have my awesome daughter-in-law with me, Sasha Palmer, and I've talked about her before and introduced her to all of you in the mortgage world, right?
The mortgage world.
So, Sash, they live in Heber, and she can tell you everything, but let's find out a little bit about you first.
Okay.
You're a mom.
I'm a mom. I have 4 kids. My oldest is on a mission in New Mexico, and then my youngest, she is 11 going on 25. So.
And 2 boys in between.
And 2 boys in between. I have a 16-year-old and then a 15, almost 16-year-old. They're really close in age, and then 2 boys. So I have three boys and 1 girl. So.
And tell us a little bit about your missionary. He's like the area he's serving in right now.
So right now he is in, it's called Cuba, New Mexico. He lives in a single wide. He's in the middle of nowhere. So there is one tiny store. He drives an hour and a half. Anywhere he needs to go. He actually loves it. It's his favorite. He loves the people. He's in between 2 reservations. So he's got one Indian reservation on one side and one Indian reservation on the other side. And he loves it. I think this is his favorite area so far.
So Owen's a great kid. And tell us a little bit about his journey deciding to go on a mission. It wasn't your typical, like, I'm 18, I'm going on a mission. So tell us a little bit about that.
So Owen, his senior year, decided to do some welding classes. So he went to MTech. It's a tech school. So he did welding, and when he graduated, he wasn't excited to go on a mission, and he didn't want to go, and he still wanted to do welding, and it wasn't his top priority. And so he did welding, and he worked really hard and got his welding certificate, and then started working. And it can be a rough crowd.
He found out what the real world was like in a hurry, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a rough crowd, you know. And we're from Heber City, Utah, little Heber, Utah, and his eyes were opened real quick. But I think it was an amazing experience. It really led him to rely on the Lord, and it was really cool. He chose to go to the temple before he even wanted to go on a mission, and it was really cool to see the temple transform his life and those covenants that he made there. And I feel like it was a really cool way that he did it. Yeah. And it was
he kind of
really
did it on his own too, didn't he?
He did it on his own.
Like say, "Hey mom, set this up for me so I can get passed off or get my interview." Or he just kind of did it on his own, didn't he?
Yeah, no. I mean, if anything, I was like, Owen, I don't know if you're if you're still not sure about a temple, or not sure about a mission.
Right.
I'm not sure the temple is where you should be going. And he was like, no, I really want to go. And he felt like that's what he needed to do. And it was pretty neat to kind of sit back
and let him figure it out.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's interesting you bring this up because in our culture, this is my opinion, but we push mission.
Yeah.
And really, it should be temple. And then if the mission clicks, great. But the temple is the ultimate learning experience where we start making and keeping covenants. Well, it's not where we start because we start with baptism, but it's where we progress. So that's pretty cool.
It was a very...
How long after so when he decided wanted to go to the temple, how long, had he already decided he wanted to do a mission, or did they kind of happen simultaneously, or did he just say, I want to do the temple, and then the mission came after?
So it was the temple first. And if anything, it's funny because I think that, Luther and I, your son,
my oldest son, who's named after me, and I'm named after my father, and it goes back.
Yeah, and Owen's first name is Luther.
Luther Owen,
yeah, it's a family.
I think he's number 7.
I think isn't he 8?
Or maybe he's 8.
I think he's 8. Or he says he's 8.
I'd have to figure it out, but yeah, it's Luther and your husband, our oldest son.
Yeah.
He went by Luther or Luth pretty much.
Yeah.
His whole time.
Yeah, and my son goes by Luther. We just call him Owen. So
so it doesn't get confusing.
Yeah, because it gets confusing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I was.
Oh, well, about so he decided to do the temple, so he got his interviews, he got ready to do that, and then at some point after that, he decided maybe a mission, because all of his friends were probably gonzo.
Yep.
Right? Probably a year into it.
Yeah. So he decided to take his temple, to go to the temple it was right around December, January, and went to the temple. And then it was really cool because him and I decided together, we started going to the temple once a week.
Yeah.
And then we started that. And then
Makes such a difference.
Man, it's made a difference for me. It's been
me too.
this really
when I
cool.
started doing that, I figured it out. Because going occasionally, every time was like, ooh, this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But once you start, anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, it really was a miracle. To see the temple covenants change Owen, it was a miracle. I mean, there's no other way to put it, because he went from, I don't know if I want to go on a mission, and I'm not sure, but I believe and I want to go to the temple, to he put his papers in. Gosh, let me think. He said in March, I want to go to the temple. Went and talked to the bishop that very day, put his temple papers in right away, got his call, and was like off on his mission. It was like the whole thing from deciding to go, like 10 weeks.
Did he work through a YSA bishop or the family ward?
Family.
Cool.
Family ward.
Cool.
Yep.
And he lived away from home for a while.
He did. We helped him find a little apartment in Provo, and he had to pay for it because
he was making some good money.
He made great money
welding, so it might as well.
Yeah, he was making great money, and
do you think that helped him by moving away from home at all?
I think so. It's a wake up call for any kid, really, and I think for him, again, you go from this like wonderful sheltered home, which is so great, to like, man, this is hard. And he was around some tough people, and he spoke about it in his farewell talk.
He was the designated driver.
He was the designated driver. And he said that he talked about it a little bit. He's talked about it a lot, but he definitely felt the Lord in his life.
Yeah.
In a lot of those tough situations, and felt very much like the Lord was protecting him. And
nice.
That push and independence, I think, is what really helped him make that decision.
And then once he's made it, it was full blown.
It was like that. And now he loves it.
So as your head hit the pillow every night and you saw his friends going on missions and stuff, as a parent, were you okay with like, you know what? This is Owen, this is his thing, he'll figure it out? Or were you like...
Man, sometimes it's so hard.
It is.
So
and
hard.
This is the thing that I think we have to recognize in our culture is there's... It's not so much that you're getting verbal pressure.
No.
But there's a cultural pressure. And when people and families they're all doing it, So you guys were good, I thought, in maybe biting your tongue a little bit.
Sometimes.
And taking it to the Lord.
Yep.
Because that's really ultimately, I know we say, they're 18 or 19, whatever, but in actuality, he's a man.
He's an adult.
Yeah. And he has to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I thought you guys did a great job in just, come on, Owen.
It's like a dance, right? Because sometimes he's still our son. So sometimes it was like...
Now, what do you mean by it was a dance?
Oh, gosh. Sometimes you get in there strong. Like, let's talk about this, right? And I'm leading him.
You're leading the dance.
Yeah, like I'm leading the dance. And then sometimes I got to let him lead. But it was hard. And then at the same time... you know, when they say you just need to let like the Lord do it, like you do all the things that you do, and then you need to let the Lord. And we would talk about that all the time. We just need to let the Lord do his thing, because we could have pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and I just.
It usually doesn't work.
I don't think it would have worked, or he would have been unhappy.
Yeah. He might have done it out of guilt or duty, or okay, just to get you off my back, I'll go. But man, when you go because this is what you want to do, it's such a difference. It makes such a difference.
And it's been like amazing for him to have made this decision, and now he's going through normal missionary hard things, and he's okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
You know, because he chose this.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing hard things.
You can't blame anybody but himself.
No. So it's been pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It's very cool.
You're I remember the stage of life that you and your husband are in, and you have a dad that passed away. Your father passed away.
Yep.
Your mom's still doing good, but she's getting older.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so you have that in your life.
Yep.
That's a big part of your life.
Yep.
And then you have kids leaving and going to college and going to trade school and going on a mission.
Yep.
Then you have 2 kids in high school.
Yeah.
And then you have a little caboose at home.
Yeah.
That's like a little girl coming into her own pretty soon, right?
She just started Young Women's.
She's 11. So she's 11.
Yeah.
She's in her 12th year.
She's in
That's what we say now, because that we always say Joseph Smith we don't say
was in his 15th year.
Yeah, he wasn't 14 when he had his first vision. He was in his 15th year. Yeah. I do that to Sue all the time, because it makes I tell her what I'm not going to tell you how old she is, but I always say in her whatever year, because it's a year older and it ticks her off. So that's fine. Anyway, so that stage of life, your mind in like it not only within an hour but within minutes, you're going from aging parents to a girl at home to teenage boys.
Oh gosh.
And then a missionary that you I was going to ask you, because you don't know how it would have been, but do you like is it FaceTiming that you guys do?
So we do meet calls.
Okay.
We can do FaceTime too.
But so every week, do you like that, or is it kind of like, does Owen like it?
So I think Owen likes it. I love it. So the cool thing I think about it is that we're all kind of sharing his mission as a family.
And I think that was the real purpose of them doing it. It wasn't so much, at least this is what I heard from a friend of mine in the mission department. He said, the reason why the prophet said we're going this route, and it was President Nelson, is that it wasn't so much, a lot of people think it's, we have all these depressed missionaries, we need to have them communicate. And they said, no, it was the whole conversation behind that change was to involve the families so that they felt like they were part of the mission.
Yeah. Hearing
about people, how did this lesson go, where, you talk twice a year, Mother's Day and Christmas.
Yeah.
And letters are awesome, but there's such a delay and drag time in them. Yeah. And anyway, so that's cool that you get to experience that.
It's by far the coolest part. And I've never he's my first missionary, so I don't know what I had no idea what it's going to be like, but it's really cool. And everything that he teaches, we get to be a part of. And we have my 16 almost 17-year-old. Next year he's a senior getting ready for his mission.
And
he's so excited to go, cuz it's really neat to, I think, for all of us to see that transformation. Your kids came home from their mission completely different.
Oh yeah.
And they're like these different people, and we get to be part of that, because
you get to see them every week where we wait 2 years, the one or two conversations during the year doesn't really do much.
No.
And all of a sudden you see him and you're like, what the heck?
Whoa,
what the
yeah.
heck happened? Where you have seen that growth.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's neat. And I mean, I think you even got to talk to him the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was so fun because I was with my son, her husband, and we were driving along, and it was a Monday.
Yeah.
That's when they can
that's
talk.
Mondays. He gets to call on Mondays.
And we had, I don't know, probably 20 minutes, half hour conversation. It was so cool.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is awesome.
It's so cool that we all get to see Owen's transition, like his transformation. He's like transforming into this like man, and this good man, and his testimony's growing, and it's just it's really beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
To see
How
him
long has he been
change.
out now?
So just a little over 6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
6 months.
He went out, so-
7 months. Yeah, maybe you're right. 7 months.
I don't know. Okay, so now we got to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
And you, so you're also in that stage of life where you found yourself with a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Even though you think when the kids are all at school. So what made you think of the mortgage business, and do you enjoy it? And what is it exactly like? How do you help people? What do you do in the mortgage business?
Okay, so Luther, my husband, he has been a real estate appraiser for many years, and I kind of helped him a little bit, but I love real estate. I always have, but I think so. I could have worked for him, but what I really love doing is I really love helping people, because I really feel like home ownership is the American dream. I know that's cheesy. Is that so cheesy?
It's not cheesy.
But I love it. It's such an enabling.
It really is. When you have home ownership, you're a king and a queen.
Yes.
You really get to have your castle, and
Yes.
it makes such a difference. And I'll get political here, so don't get mad at me.
Well,
But the left in this country really want that taken away. That's one of the main things, because your mentality changes once you own
yes.
a home.
Yes.
You all of a sudden think differently.
Well, and you have so much pride.
Pride.
You're you know.
You want to take care of it. You want it's your security.
Yeah.
It's so many things. It's a refuge for your family.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to help that, and that naturally would be the mortgage business.
Yeah.
It? Helping people figure out a way to get into a home.
Yep.
Because it's kind of difficult for many people right now.
It is, and we don't. There's not a lot of education about it, and it can be really intimidating when you're getting started. And I think it used to be there was no information about it, and now there's such a surplus of information, because there's so much out there that you don't really know. Like, it's too much, and you don't know where to even start. So that can be really overwhelming, I think, with buying a home or anything in that process.
And then also, if there's a drop in interest rates, you might want to look at refinancing.
Yep.
I don't even know what the market is with that right now. Is it?
Well, they're ever changing, and they change every day. Right now, rates are, I just closed a loan on Monday, and I think they were at 6.99 is where we closed. So they're a little bit higher.
The first home Sue and I got.
Stop, what?
Over 17%.
What?
Interest rate, yeah. This would have been in the 80s. Check it out. Look it up. We didn't know what
You don't know. Well, you don't know.
Now the dollar was worth a lot more, so you could get into a home for $150,000.
Yeah.
Which is like the end of the world for us back then. But the interest rate, your payment was so high at 18, almost 18%. And so that was our first home. But now, okay, so you have people wanting to get into that. You also have people who are maybe going to refi to get a lower interest rate. Mm-hmm. But then you have people, the only that are older
Yeah.
that want to pull some equity or something like that. The only thing I know about a reverse mortgage is what I see from Tom Selleck on TV.
On TV, right?
And he has a cool mustache, and you're like, you ought to check it out. And the thing I hear is that you don't want to, and I think this could be a cultural thing too, is that you're spending your money, you're taking all your equity out of your house, and then you're going to leave nothing for your children, and it's kind of a selfish thing to do. I've heard that. Now, can you help me understand and help the listeners?
Yeah.
Like what would be a case where someone might really want to consider
a reverse
mortgage?
So reverse mortgages are my very favorite mortgages to do. They are so enabling for people. And they help all kinds of people. So let's use an example. So let's say you have a homeowner. You have to be 62 years of age of older to be able to do a reverse. That's lots of you out there, I'm sure. But
I would say 90% of who you're talking to right now are over 60.
Perfect then, right? So let's say you're over the age of 62 and you have a little mortgage still. So if you're over the age of 62 and you still have a mortgage, a reverse is an amazing option to start the process of retiring. Now, what you can do is if you still have a mortgage, then you can do a reverse mortgage and you can help those payments go away. And then one thing I always say, so
now when you say help the payments go away, how does that work?
So what happens when you do a reverse mortgage is your equity starts working for you. So let me use this as an example. I'm going to get my calculator out here so let's say you have a payment and it's $1,500 a month. So when you do a reverse mortgage, you still have to pay your insurance. You still have to pay an HOA fee. But let's say...
How about your property taxes?
You still have to pay your taxes.
So because some people have that in their
mortgage, if you have a mortgage, that's part of it. After you pay your mortgage off, then you pay that on a yearly basis. But if you still have a mortgage, you still have to pay your taxes. But this is the thing, and this is, I think, what people don't understand about a reverse mortgage is it used to be really a nefarious product a long time ago, and that's why it's got a bad name.
That's why it had that reputation.
Yeah. So now reverse mortgages, you continue to own the home. Your name stays on title. It is your home. So if you do a reverse mortgage and your home is worth, let's say $800,000, in 10 years at a 4% rate, your home will be worth $1.2 million and you will still own and grow in that equity. That is still your home.
The equity.
Yes. So you always keep the equity. No matter, and in the state of Utah, you guys, 4%. It's like peanuts, right? Like as soon as interest rates come down again, we're going to have another boom. So our home, like what happened before in 2020, it's not going to be crazy as that, but there are 75% of homeowners that are waiting to get back into the market for rates to drop. Our equity is just going to go crazy.
And the thing with anywhere, at least from what I'm hearing and what I study, because I like real estate as well, but not that I do anything with it, but I follow it. But so what happened in 2008 is there was a saturation of homes.
Yep.
And so prices dropped. I don't see that ever happening again because there's such a shortage. They'll never catch up.
Yeah. So
in this particular area, the West, Utah, they're always going to be in the catch-up mode. So even though the dollar and this and that, it's usually supply and demand, and the supply is always going to be short. So the value is always going to be continuing to go up. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And especially in the state of Utah, there just aren't enough homes. That's why homes are so expensive, really, truly. And that's what it comes down to. So in the state of Utah, I mean, if you are a first time, if you want to get into a home, I would get into it now, because now, while rates are a little bit high, get into the home, and then when rates go down, refinance. Yeah, and they say this always in the mortgage, like you marry the home and you date the rate. So I know it's so cheesy, but I say that all the time. I know, but it's true.
I like
you
that.
marry the home, you date the rate. And right now, a lot of homeowners, if you're trying to sell your home, they'll be more flexible. You get a better price, and you grow in equity, and then you refinance when rates go down again.
So say someone's in their 60s, and say they've had a home for 30 years, and they still have a mortgage, but it's pretty minimal.
Yeah,
say
they're
under
getting
$1,000 or
Yeah.
around $1,000 or $1,200, and they're paying on it. Their home probably is now worth. They probably bought it for $300,000, $250,000, $300,000, and now it's worth over $500,000 plus.
Probably more than that.
Probably more than
Yeah,
that.
homes that we bought for $350 a few years ago,
Yeah.
back in 2018, are now worth $750,000.
Yeah.
Right?
So you have that equity in your home. A reverse mortgage. Explain how that would. How much would you want to take out? What would you want to do? What are some of the options people have? Because I think there's a lot of listeners that would be in that situation where they could benefit from this.
So you can do a reverse mortgage, and you can have your reverse mortgage give you a monthly stipend.
Okay.
Okay. So every month you get a little bit from your home equity to live on. I don't do a lot of those. What generally I do are people will do a reverse mortgage, and in the first year they'll take out X amount of dollars and use it however they want to, and then in the second year they can take another like push of like another amount of equity. But it's not even so much that, it's more about the freedom that it gives you in retirement.
You're not worried about making the monthly
payment,
payment.
because your biggest payment every month
is your house payment.
It's your house payment. So, and this is what I say. So if you still work and you're over the age of 62 and you're still working and you're not planning on retiring for the next, like maybe 5 years, which is pretty normal.
Yeah.
So instead of paying that mortgage, you can do your reverse. You can take no money out, but then you're able to not make that payment every month. And then instead, you can take that payment and add it to like a money market account, right? And then you're making a percentage on it. So I wanted to get my handy dandy calculator out, because let's say, you have a small payment of $1,000, let's say $1,200, right?
I think that'd be realistic.
I think that's realistic, times 12. So that's $14,000 a year. $14,000 times 5, that's $72,000 that you put in your retirement nest egg, that you are saving instead of having to put towards your mortgage every month. And that's why it's so amazing.
So you, instead of just blowing the money.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah, and you would counsel them that way.
Yeah, and that's how I counsel them. Like, the best thing for anybody to do is, if you're still working and you want to do save that money, put it in a money market account, help that money enable you in the future to do all the things that you want to do. So, and that's generally how I want to be so open and so honest, and I always want what's the very best for anybody that I'm helping. And no, keep putting that money away. And put it away in a savings, in a money market account.
It anyway.
Yeah, you're using it. You're already on the habit of it.
You're having it grow.
Yeah.
So that it's actually building your retirement.
Yeah.
You're using your home to build your retirement.
Yeah, and another really cool thing. So let's say your home is paid for, and you're over the age of 62. Maybe you're like in your late 60s or something, and you have a nice retirement. Let's say you have an IRA. You might have some insurance stuff going on. You have a cute little nest egg sitting there. Instead of pulling money out of your IRA and getting taxed on that, you can do a reverse mortgage, and it is tax free.
Dang.
You never pay taxes on it. So And this is like one of those tricks that wealthy people do. Okay? So people that are sitting on a home, let's say your home's worth $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, right? So they have this beautiful equity, their home's paid off, everything's all done, and then they have all of their nest egg and all of their assets and all of their everything, and it's working for them, right? If you pull money out of your IRA, and every time you got to pay taxes,
you're going to be taxed.
You're taxing.
I know all about that.
You are taxed on every little thing, but you're never taxed on your reverse mortgage because it's a loan. So instead of using your nest egg, you use your home and you retire on your home equity. You never pay taxes on it. It's almost like a tax shelter for your money. And I think when people understand, like I'll talk to financial advisors, and even financial advisors, they don't know this. I explain this to financial advisors and they're like, minds are blown.
Yeah, they're like, what the heck?
Yeah, because you're going to be more money ahead by keeping your money with your financial advisor growing. The stock market's like, who knows? It's going to go crazy with Trump. You guys, we all know it will. So you don't want to be pulling your annuities, you don't want to be pulling you don't want to pull any of that and pay taxes on it. Use your equity, use your reverse money to retire on that you don't pay taxes on, that you continue to grow. Your equity's still growing. Your home's still going to be worth more, but you don't have to pay taxes on it. It's
That's
really
cool.
such a cool tax shelter.
All right. Well, this has been fun.
I know. I get excited when we talk about mortgages.
So I'll put a link for your information.
Okay.
If people are interested, they can contact. I'll put it in
Yes.
the comment section. I'll pin it, so it'll be the first comment, and it's a nice little. It's like a business card almost. It has all your information.
Yep, and you just click on the link.
You have to be from Utah, right?
Yeah, we are.
Or live in Utah.
Yeah, I am only able to do loans out of the state of Utah, but my company can do loans, I think, out of California, Colorado, some other places.
So they could still contact you.
Yes.
Maybe you could steer them and say, yes, our company can help you, or no, they can't.
Yes.
But for Utah, you can do it.
I can do everything
and
in Utah.
I highly recommend her. She's
Thanks,
the
you
best.
guys.
She's the best.
Well, he's just so nice.
All right. Anything else?
No, thanks.
Hey,
Thanks
you bet. This has been fun. Well, God bless y'all. We'll talk to you soon. This is pre-inauguration. The day before, the night before, Sunday night before. So I'll probably there's gonna be some exciting things happen in the next couple of days. So this video will come out after the inauguration, but we're filming it and we've been watching some of this stuff and it's been pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. But well, thanks, Sash. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And this has been fun, and we'll talk to you soon. Love you all. Goodbye.